Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I am so happy it's Friday. Hello, my name is Terry, and welcome to my kitchen. Again, happy Friday. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Um, if you aren't already, make sure you are subscribing to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. Also, if you are coming on in, go ahead and like this video. Want to get those housekeeping things out the way. Let's see who's in the chat. We got a few people here already. We have Celeste. She says, hey, happy Friday. Hey, girl, happy Friday. We have Miss Peach Love. She's here. She said, it's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. I am so excited. Again, excuse me. Thank you so much again for being here. My name is Terry. I would like to go ahead and introduce myself because there's a lot of new people here. And plus, I need to remind y'all who I am so y'all know why I do the things that I do. So again, my name is Terry. I am a personal trainer and wellness coach based out of Phoenix, Arizona. My business, My Sexy is Strong, was basically manifested and created out of my own personal health and wellness journey. I have no problems with letting everyone know where I came from and where I'm at now. At one point in my life, I always struggled with my weight. Let me just say that. And at one point in my life, I had topped the scale at over 320 pounds. And at my lowest, I got down to about 160 pounds. So I've been through it all. I've done it all. But here I am sharing my journey with everybody and also showing everybody how you can make a healthy lifestyle work within your current lifestyle. We don't have to completely give up everything we love in terms of food and nutrition, but we can adjust things to make them work for us. So this is why I am here in my kitchen, but also one of the reasons why I'm here in my kitchen, because I love to engage. I love to talk. I have a degree in sociology, so I'm a social scientist. I love to look at pop culture and the things that are going on in our community. So this is why we're here. This is why we are going to discuss. I am sure you saw the thumbnail. We're going to get down into it. All right, let me see who else is in the chat here. We have Mona. She says, hello, my sis. Hello, Mona. Make sure everybody, if you don't know who Mona is, she is a content creator here on YouTube, and make sure you go and check out her channel. Mona, go ahead and drop your link. She is an amazing content creator. She was just live about an hour ago. I love her live. Mona and I have a lot of similarities in terms of like the things we discuss on our channel, as well as professional similarities. She is a wife, she is a mother, and so she has a great perspective on our community and the things that we can do to improve. So again, make sure you go and check Mona out. She's also a part of the Lead Attorney Mastermind. And yes, Mona, you are welcome for the wrench, of course. Please like the video. We have Celeste here. She's saying hello to Mona. Everybody showing Mona some love. Thank you. We have Theo with the Do Better podcast. That's my boy. He went live this morning. He is also a content creator here on YouTube, a part of the Lead Attorney Mastermind as well. Theo does hilarious reaction videos. He talks about a lot of different variety of topics, but a lot of the stuff revolves around like men and women, relationships, and things of that nature. So make sure y'all go check him out. He had a great live this morning talking about our homeboy. He calls them, Mona and Theo calls him King Pookie. So he definitely had a good perspective on King Pookie, homeboy with the 7 kids and the 7 baby mamas. So yes, please check out Theo's channel. Let's see, who else do we have here? We got Derek Gaines in the building. Hello, everybody. I just saw Derek on Mona's live. He decided to subscribe to my channel. He joined. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to have a great discussion. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to have some good food, okay? Speaking of the food, so y'all know I'm real into like, the health and wellness, things of that nature. But I'm going to be honest. I like to eat. I was once a true fat girl. But like, I love food, so I'm gonna always be, a fat girl in my head, whether I'm a little thick or whether I'm lean. It don't matter. I like to eat. And one of the things I saw on one of my favorites, Maggie, the substitute teacher, make sure y'all check her out. Oh, it looks like we're gonna be struggle streaming today. It's fine. Let me get my camera back together. Y'all know technology. But so Maggie the substitute teacher here on YouTube. If you've been on my channel, you know I love her. And the other day she was cooking fried fish. And I was like, Maggie, I'm gonna have a fish fry on Friday. So that is what we are eating today. I'm gonna show y'all, even though we're gonna be frying up some fish, I'm gonna show y'all how I kind of incorporate that into my lifestyle again. You don't have to completely get rid of all the things you love and you grew up on, but guess what? Fried food is not something that I eat a lot. I will be honest. It's not even something that I eat regularly, maybe once a month. I don't know. Twice a month. I don't know. But I can't eat what I used to because I'm getting up there, y'all. But I'm going to show y'all what to do to make it flavorful and other things that you can add with it so that you can have a good meal, but not with all the excess calories. Okay. So let me first start by getting some things ready. So I don't know what y'all like to eat with y'all fish, but one of my favorite ways to eat fish is with hot sauce and tartar sauce. And I decided, since I'm being a little fancy, I'm being a little extra, I want to make tartar sauce from scratch. So we're gonna make that really quickly so that we can get it in the fridge and let it cool a little bit. And then we're gonna get into this topic because look, I purposely put Kevin Samuels and our dear friend Kendra G. Let me know in the chat if you watch Kendra G, y'all. I watch Kendra G. If you watch Kendra G, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't know who she is or you don't know watch her YouTube channel, put a 2 in the chat. But I watch Kendra quite often, and I see a lot of people talking. Well, her show is about singles. She has people come on her show and they're dating and they trying to find somebody, and so they kind of talk about what they want and their requirements and standards and what they're looking for in a man or a woman. If you need some good ratchet TV, go ahead and watch Kendra, okay? Because it is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. So while I'm making this tartar sauce, some of the few ingredients that we need for our tartar sauce, the first thing, of course, we're going to need mayonnaise. I am using light mayonnaise. You can use regular mayonnaise, but again, y'all, I'm a part of that whole health and wellness community. So I try to cut the fat as much as I can. And this is why I'm using the light mayonnaise. For me, it tastes fine. But again, if you want to use regular full fat, go right ahead. One of the other things that we're going to need for our tartar sauce is dill. You can use dried dill. It is a herb. I'm using fresh dill. I love fresh herbs and spices and things of that nature. That's how I add in a lot of flavor into my food. So I'm gonna show y'all that. So we're gonna have some dill that I just chopped up really quickly. Let's see. Let me pull up the recipe that I found because I want it to be a little extra. I remember when I worked after I worked in social services, I worked in sales, and I worked at an international shipping company. I'm not going to name the company, but I worked at an international shipping company, and they used to have some good food in their like cafeteria. And one of the things I used to get was like their little fish sandwich. And y'all, they used to make this amazing tartar sauce. And so this is what I'm channeling. I'm channeling that. So the first ingredient, I'm not going to measure anything, but I am going to tell y'all the measurements. So the first thing we need is about a cup of mayonnaise. I'm just going to eyeball that, put that in my little bowl right there. Second thing we're going to need is some dill pickles, but I have dill pickles that I'm going to chop finely, but I'm just going to go ahead and add in my teaspoon or tablespoon of fresh dill, and then I'll go ahead and chop up some dill pickles. All right, so let's see. Who said they watched Kendra? Guilty pleasure. I can't look away. Baby, I love watching Kendra. It's so ratchet. I watch Kendra. She makes for great content, excellent content. Low key, watching Kendra's show is like a social experiment. It's like you see all type of craziness in that on that show. So that's why one of the reasons why I watch it as well, because I'm like, we're talking about dating today, and I'm a single woman. I'm not married. So yes, I date. And like some of the things that I hear guys talking about, I'm like, who are these women y'all meeting? Because I'll be honest, I do live in a bubble. I went to a HBCU. I went to a private school growing up. Yeah, I lived in East Cleveland, Ohio, but most of my friends were just the people on my street. So I have like a limited view of what a lot of people experience, right? Just based on my life, personal experiences. So some of the crazy stuff that I hear both men and women talking about when dating, I'm like, who the hell y'all around? Who are you talking to? Well, watching Kendra, I realized who they meeting. Crazy. It's crazy out here. So for those of y'all who are married or in long-term committed relationships, make sure you keep up with that. So here I'm just chopping up some fresh dill pickles. All right. While I'm chopping up the pickles, let's go ahead and get into this topic because we got a lot to discuss and I got a lot to say. I'm going only putting in about a cup, so I'm gonna, eyeball that. I'm gonna eyeball that. All right. So yes, I want to talk about dating today, y'all. I know it's a huge topic. Some of us are tired of the topic. Some of us are like, yes, give me more. I'm somewhere in between. I am very satisfied with where I'm at in my life in terms of dating. So, like, I ain't really looking because I ain't got to look, but I do like to, see what's going on. And I know we've all heard the line, especially on Kendra. This is something I hear all the time from both men and women that the dating pool got pee in it. I can't, ain't nobody good out here. The dating pool is terrible. These men ain't ish. These women ain't ish. That's all you hear every day, all day on all these shows. And to be quite frank, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead and let's talk about it. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I am very satisfied with where I'm at in my single dating journey. However, I have come across quite a few dudes that were not necessarily the greatest candidates. But like for me, working in social services and seeing like where people truly do come from, where people have like a lot of issues, like I give people a certain level of grace that most people don't. So like I really kind of write those experiences off as just like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. I know that this is not somebody that I need to deal with. But unfortunately, for some of my, I'll say peers, when I'm referring to women, I'll say peers, not necessarily my real friends, but unfortunately, my peers don't necessarily have this same level of discernment. And so because of that, it seems like they just have all type of ish that they deal with in their dating lives. And so when I hear people say, oh, the dating pool has pee in it or it has sewage in it, that was my nice way of saying that. I question, I'm like, okay, does it really? Or is it that your expectations might be a little too high? Hmm. Let's think about that. While y'all thinking about that, let's see who else in this chat. Only when Dave or 3 do reaction videos. Yeah. Look, if you don't watch Kendra, I'm telling you right now, don't get hooked. Don't start because you will get hooked. It's addicting. Miss Peach Love says one. Queen's Day. Hey, Queen's Day. Thanks for joining today. Mona says, like the video. Yes, please make sure you're liking the video. Liking the video. Everyone's saying hello. I love that you guys are being engaging in the chat. Y'all only watch Kendra when I react to other Kendra videos. Can never watch Kendra straight up. Look, I'm telling y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I watch it. It's entertaining. It's like watching a train wreck. You can't turn away. Smoke and talk. Yes. Good evening, Baltimore in the building. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure y'all check out Smoke and Talk. I just met him on these YouTube streets today. I think I met him in Theo's chat. So make sure you check out his channel. Go ahead and drop the link for Smoke and Talk. Let's see. Thank you for the shout out. So yes. Do y'all think that the dating pool has sewage in it, or are people's standards too high? Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to keep on going. So, in terms of dating, like I told you, I watch Kendra. I watch a lot of different types of, content on YouTube, a lot of it regarding dating. One of the reasons why is because of my, educational background in sociology. I love looking at this kind of stuff. And I see a lot of different things. I watch a lot of red pill stuff. I watch a lot of purple pill stuff. I consider myself a little purple pill. And then I also see a lot of stuff from like a feminist perspective. So for me, because I am the person that I am, I like to chew up what makes sense to me and then I spit out the garbage. That's how I go about all content. Sometimes I hear stuff and it triggers me a little bit, but then I have to think like, Terry, don't let that bother you because guess what? That ain't you, girl. So I want to show y'all this video from a content creator here on YouTube. Some of you may be familiar. I've seen a few people reference some of the things that I've heard on her channel. So let me know in the chat if y'all are familiar. Her name is Crimson Cure. She is here on YouTube. She offers up a lot of great content, and I wish that more people would watch her content because sis be preaching. So I'm gonna show y'all a few minute clip. It's about 3 minutes long clip of Crimson Cure's video. The name of the video is Black Women Have High Expectations, Not Standards. Don't look, don't get all mad because she's talking about women. I'm a woman. A lot of us are women. We have some men in the chat, but we are women and we're talking about women issues, okay? And we can use some men to offer up their perspectives because what? Unless you like women, you want to date a man, right? So that's what we're doing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and we're gonna watch Kendra for a few, hold on one second, y'all. Like I said, it's about a 3 minute clip, very interesting clip. I would love to hear what y'all have to say once the clip is over. All right.
But I drew a distinction between expectations and standards. And I said that expectations come from entitlement and standards come from value. And I wanted to expand on that. And the reason why I wanted to expand on that is because when it comes to Black women and that like their dating expectations and things, we've seen enough examples where Black women are always talking about what their expectations are and they get it confused with having high standards. Having a lot of expectations is considered to be high standards. And it's not the same thing at all. So I'm here to clear the air for all of the women listening, all of the young women listening. If you think having a 20-point bullet point list of expectations is somehow having a high standard, it's not. It's just a bunch of unrealistic expectations that's not about to be met. And we've seen enough of Kevin Samuel shows. We're seeing Kendra G shows. Any show that features Black women, especially, coming on talking about dating, talking about what they want a man to do or to have, and yada yada yada. We hear a lot of expectations. Some of them, very few of them, reasonable. Most of them are ridiculous. And when she's challenged on those expectations, the usual response is, well, you know what I'm saying? My standards, I got high standards and you can't attack me for my standards. It's not standards. It's just expectations. And so now let me draw the difference, because when we talk about expectations versus standards, especially when it comes to the dating world and the dating scene and all that type of stuff, you'll hear a lot of women with a lot of expectations, and really hyenas have a lot of expectations because expectations are born out of entitlement, a sense of entitlement. And you will hear a lot of these chicks say things like, I deserve a 6-figure man. I deserve a man that make $1 million a minute. I deserve a man that's going to be able to take me, you know what I'm saying, all over the world, traveling every year and all of these different things. I deserve. And I have a real problem with grown people talking about what they deserve. Okay? That is born out of a sense of entitlement. It doesn't require anything for to have an expectation. When something is expected, that the person that expects things, there's no requirement for that person. I'll give you an example. A child expects that their parents are going to love them and take care of them. That's an expectation. It doesn't require anything from the child other than to be a child in the parent's household. That alone qualifies the child to love and to be taken care of, to, you know, make sure that the child have adequate.
All right. Standards versus expectations. There's so much to say about that. There's so much to say. I don't know. Are you might not be familiar with her, Miss Peach Love. I don't know. We've never talked about her. But Crimson be going in on the hyenas. She loves to talk about the hyenas. I've heard Mona reference the hyenas too. Yes, expectations versus standards. Okay, so y'all know it. Well, if you don't know, I always create like a little outline. I'm a schoolgirl, so I gotta have my notes. I gotta have my outline. I can't have thoughts without some type of order and reason to them. So this video really is what's gonna guide our conversation today. Okay, y'all. But before we kind of get into the outline that I prepared, I want to know if you think there's a difference between expectations and standards. So if you think there's a difference, put a 1 in the chat if you believe that there's a difference between there isn't a difference. I'm sorry. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't believe there's a difference between expectations and standards, and then put a 2 in the chat if you believe there's a difference between expectations versus standards. And this is all in regards to dating. I want to know what y'all think, because it's very relevant. I mean, even if you're married, like this is interesting information to know. It's important information to know, because honestly, if you are married or in a long-term committed relationship, you the type of person that needs to be having conversations with people that want to be married and want to be in long-term committed relationships. You are the people that we need to get guidance from. But, you got to be reasonable as well. Just because you're married don't mean you know it all, because we all know some very toxic and crazy relationships and marriages. Let's see, we got some 1s. There isn't a difference. Okay. We have 2s. There's a difference. Definitely a difference. Okay. You corrected yourself there. Derek, he says it's 2. There's a difference. Okay. I feel you. So what are standards? That's the first question. I am cutting up some green onions because I'm going to add this to my tartar sauce. You can use regular onions, but I just decided to be a little bit fancy, and I'm going to mince up some green onions. So what are standards? I looked up the definition because I ain't, I'm not a linguist. I'm a sociologist. It's 2 different things. Webster Dictionary defines standards as something established by authority, custom, or general consent as a model or example. So that's just a basic outline of standards as it pertains. So that's the best definition that Webster has as it pertains to dating. Then when it comes to dating, y'all, like I said, I like to prepare a little outline for y'all. When I tell y'all I looked all over the internet to get some type of scholarly information regarding dating and standards and expectations, and the only thing I can come up with was that bullshit, and I'm gonna say it like this, that bullshit Psychology Today article talking about lonely men. The women's standards are increasing, and this is causing men to grow old and be lonely. And I mean, although there were some valid points in the article, I don't like the perspective that it was written from, because I am never one who is pro gender wars. I think the gender war between Black men and Black women is the dumbest thing in the world. And that's the best thing that the majority has done to us, is cause us to have a war with each other. And that's why our community is where it is. But we're going to talk about that another day in another video. So when I was looking up this whole standards thing, and all I could find was this Psychology Today article. And then I also found this lady. She has a blog. She has a podcast. It sounds like she's written some books about relationship and healing and growth and all this kind of stuff. And she had an interesting blog on, having standards and dating and relationships. And I'm going to read a few of the paragraphs that she has. I'll actually share it with y'all. I'll share my screen so y'all can see it, because I don't want y'all thinking I'm making stuff up. These are not my words, but I do highly agree with them, and it makes a point. It brings a good point to our discussion. So first, she says, having standards is not about having a criteria list for you to mark potential mates against, and it's not about the superficial. Standards are there to allow you to ensure that your basic needs are met by partners, and that you have clearly defined behaviors that are unacceptable if someone wants to be with you. These are standards that you should not be rolling over or throw out the window the moment you have an orgasm or are feeling a little insecure. Baby, when I saw this, I literally was like, ooh, that hit me. And that like that spoke to me because it's just like the basic standards or the basic baseline things that you need from a person that you're going to engage in a relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic. It's just certain things that you are not going to deal with. She goes on to say basic criteria should mean that a partner should have behave in a caring, honest, and trustworthy manner. They should have values that and be capable of behaving like a decent human being, not just for the people, but for you. Not just for other people, but for you. Trust is something that is earned, not doled out with every guy that makes an effort to go out on a date or sleep between the sheets. Y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link to this article in the chat, and I'll also put it in I'll put it in the description so y'all can check that out another time. We're not going to mull over that too much, but she made a good point in regards to dating versus or standards versus expectations. Like, yes, you shouldn't deal with just anybody. We know that. We've come to that conclusion looking at King Pookie. You can't just deal with any old body in these dating streets. So yes, you need a baseline of behaviors and traits and characteristics of a person that you will tolerate in terms of dating. But basic line traits and characteristics of a person are totally different than he gotta be 6 feet, or she gotta have a fat ass, or he gotta make all this money, or she need to wear her hair in twist outs and not in a weave. Like, these are all wants and desires. There's nothing wrong with having wants and desires. I'm here for it. Do I want a man making $20,000 a year? Absolutely not, because I live in the real world. But if I was 20 and I was dating a guy who had a lot of money, I mean, like, I'm 20, first of all. And then secondly, like, I'm looking to grow and build. So there are going to be some things that I might not get. And there are going to be other things that, like, no matter what, I have to have this. I have to have a man who is a leader. I have to have a man who thinks from a place of logic and reason. I have to have a man who understands the importance of providing and protecting not just me, but for his family. Yes. Does that mean this man also has to have these other superficial traits? The 666, y'all know what that means. Y'all know what that means, the 666? Let me check out the comments, see what y'all are saying. I want to engage with y'all, see what y'all got to say about this. I see a lot of people agreeing with this. I believe when you're a father, you set standards of what a man should be. Then my daughter will expect to be treated as such. Absolutely. This kind of goes back to, let me get another spoon. This kind of goes back to the conversation about King Pookie. Honestly, I have not made all the best decisions and choices in my life. I don't have any shame of saying that, because there's nothing anyone on the internet can say to me to make me feel like trash. So I really don't care about it, telling people and being transparent. I am a mother, but I am not married. So clearly, I'm not here to judge anyone else because I have not made the most wisest decisions at all times. However, I recognize that, like, a lot of the reasons why women make the poor decisions in their life when it is regarding men is because of the lack of real male influence in their lives. And this is why we have a situation where this is partly the reason why, well, I feel like it's almost all the reason why we have a man who's out here and can tell women, like, I ain't taking care of your kid. Like, we got women who literally laying down with a man knowing that he ain't worth it. Like, he's not worth it, but they still doing it. Why? Because they didn't have the example. And so this is why, like, having a man and husband in the household with your kids is so, so important. So important. Smoking Talk says FedEx him a plate. Okay, so this is the tartar sauce I'm making. I got light mayo in here. I got some fresh dill. I got some dill pickles. I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of onion powder because I'm Black and we believe onion powder should go in everything. I'm going to put just a little teeny bit of garlic powder, not much, just to balance it out. I'm going to put a little bit of that. I'm going to also put in a little black pepper. And I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in here. And then we'll put this in the fridge, and we'll get started with the fish because that's the main event. Okay. That is the main event. Let's see. King Pookie makes all of us look bad. Let me pull this up so y'all can see that. King, we talked about King Pookie the other day. We talked about him, and as much as it's so easy to go off on him because clearly he's a person who makes poor choices, and he is not like an upstanding man like our man Derek Gaines in the chat. No, like Derek wouldn't be out here just planting his seed in everybody. But I just want to say that like as much as it is good content and all that kind of stuff, like I want us to recognize that like there are not a lot of men like King Pookie. Are there some in the world? Absolutely. They are there. But like, let's not act like that's the majority of men. I don't ever want to be that person to put out the image that black man ain't ish, that black men don't take care of their responsibilities. I know amazing black men in real life. I am friends with amazing black men in real life. Actually, most of my friends out here are married, two people in the household taking care of their kids together. Okay, so we know it's some good men out here. King Pookie is one of the outliers, unfortunately, and he's getting all the attention. Hopefully, we have somebody to come in and balance that because I'm tired of him already. All right, I'm gonna taste this. Okay. All right. So I sprinkled in my lemon juice. I'm gonna put this in the fridge, and then we're gonna keep it rolling. So dating standards versus dating expectations. Like I said, and like the article said, dating expectation or standards are like the basic needs in your relationship. That's the easiest way to put it. So we all want somebody to be respectful. We all want somebody that is going to, value you. We all want people that are going to treat you like a human, not treat you like a dog. Let me stop because I have to show some love to my fave, Maggie, the substitute teacher, showing support from Boston. Thank you so much, Maggie, for joining us. Maggie is a YouTube creator here, and she cooks. She streams every single day. She streamed this morning because she was on her way to Boston. She's visiting another YouTuber there. And so make sure y'all check Maggie out. Like I said, she streams every day. She cooks. She is showing us her health and wellness journey. She does dairy-free, gluten-free, and Lord, I always mess it up. Sugar-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, gluten-free. So check Maggie out. She's a huge supporter of mine. She's a huge inspiration of mine. And like I said, she is my fave. So y'all do me a favor. If you aren't already subscribing to Maggie's channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. Let's see what Derek has to say. It seems like King Pookie is working the system and he found a way to not be accountable. Yeah. 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 All right. Back to dating and standards. I don't want to get on a tangent because I can go on that, but I'm gonna leave that right there. So yeah, dating or standards, basic needs, people respecting you, people treating you how you want to be treated. That's the golden rule. That's a standard. Nobody should be, lied to, manipulated, harmed physically, mentally, emotionally, nothing. Like that's not what you do. We don't do this. We all know right from wrong. We're all adults here. You treat people with dignity and respect. Those are the basic things of life. And those are definitely the basic standards of dating. Now let's talk about expectations. What do expectations look like? What are they? Like expectations is something like I want a man who makes six figures. That's an expectation. That's really like a want and desire. But it is kind of an expectation because there's a lot of people I've literally heard women say like I deserve a man that makes all this money. Okay. All right, sis. How's that working out for you? Like, I don't fault people for their desires and their wants and desires, but I always ask and I ask myself as well, like, how are all of these wants and desires working out for you? Like, are they really that important or are they not? Like, what's going on there? And that kind of leads into my second question of are your expectations and wants and desires hindering you when dating? And that is really the biggest question to ask of the day. How is that working out for you? How is the 666 working out for you? The first question I would even ask somebody is, do you have access to the people that you desire? Do you? Do you have access? All right, let me get my fish, y'all. So we are going to be cooking some perch. I don't know if y'all are familiar with perch, but I went to the Asian market. If you're not familiar, I love Asian food. And so I frequent the Asian and international market all the time. Here, that is where you can get a whole variety of like seafood. And so I decided to pick up some ocean perch. They were actually whole fillets or whole fish that I got filleted. And I'm just gonna first dry it off. Make sure when you're getting ready to fry fish, you dry it off and literally just use paper towels. This is the best and easiest way to do it because you don't want that wet fish. We're gonna fix it all up. We're gonna season it up, but you don't want like a lot of water on the fish. So I'm just gonna trim this up a little bit. I usually try to do this type of stuff beforehand, but you know, I've been supporting all my homies on YouTube today and making my outline. So yes, back to dating and standards and expectations. How are those expectations working out for you though? This is something I actually see. If you do watch Kendra, then you know. I see her a lot asking, especially the women, because it's unfortunately, I hate to say this, but y'all be making it so hard for me to ride for y'all sometimes. I'm a girl's girl. But like when my girls be on some bullshit, I gotta call them out. Okay. And unfortunately, on Kendra's show, the people statistically who have the most standards and they have the longest list of things that their mates have to have, it's always the women. It's always the women. And Kendra always asks this question: have you ever dated a six-figure man? Because this is a huge one. Y'all, you'd be surprised. People that don't even know what six figures look like, you ain't been within more than 5 miles of the home that you grew up in. You have no idea what the world is like outside of that little city you living in. And you got this whole laundry list of things that you need from a man, talking about he got to make six figures. Girl, what? All right, I ain't gonna go too hard, but it just sometimes makes me mad when I hear that. Okay, cool. You want a man that makes all this money, right? Have you ever dated a six-figure man? And a lot of times when Kendra asks this question, they'll be like, no, no. And the reason why she asked that question, y'all, is because like it's more so about access. Like there's nothing wrong, again, with having your wants and desires. You can want whatever it is that you desire. I want to be a millionaire. Am I a millionaire today? No. But that's something I want and I'm never going to stop desiring it. Okay, cool. We got that out the way. But what is your proximity to these things that you want? Do you have access to these things that you want? Like, come on now. What's Celeste saying? Derek says he likes perch. Yes. Perch is so good. My grandfather used to fish a lot. And so that is, yeah, I love perch. That's my favorite fish to fry. I'll do fry or catfish, but not necessarily my favorite. So these pieces of fish, as y'all saw, they were huge. So I just cut them up. Here I have one more big fillet I'm going to cut up, and then I'm going to show y'all that's the exciting part of this recipe is me showing y'all how I season my fish. I'm really excited about it. Mona says, call them out. I don't mind giving a friendly little nudge to my sister homegirls and letting them know, sis, you want some BS now. You want some BS. All right. So now we have that out the way. Let's see. What else is in the chat? What kills me is when people want things that are not that is really what I was kind of getting to. Like, because of the experiences that I've had in life, it has allowed me to be in certain circles, right? And so my proximity to the types of people, not only just men that I want to date, but just people, business people that I would like, people that I would like to do business with, whatever, in all aspects of life. My proximity to these people aren't far. So I'm within reach, and it's something that is realistic for me, right? If you live in the projects and you work at the call center, the local cable company, where are you meeting this six-figure man at? Because six-figure men don't live in the projects, and they, unless they like an executive at the cable company, they don't work there. And if they're an executive at the cable company, they're not talking to you. So come on now, realistic here. Again, nothing wrong with desiring these things, but you can't say the dating pool got sewage in it if you aren't even, y'all ain't in the same pool. There are different pools. You don't have access to this pool. You have, how you gonna hate from outside the club and you can't even get in? You can't get into the club. And it's not a matter of ha ha, shame on you. It's a matter of, what do I need to do? And we're gonna talk about that. What do I need to do to get access to this pool? But let's keep going before we get too deep into that. So the other side of that is, here we have someone new here today. Chelsea, live line. Hello, dropping in before my therapy session. Yes, girl, go ahead and get your therapy. I'm here for it. I miss my therapist. I have to find a new one because she no longer takes my health insurance. So, but if you find a good therapist, hold on to her tight. Hold on to her tight, him or her. But yes, thank you so much, Chelsea, for dropping in. Chelsea, again, another content creator here on YouTube. Make sure y'all check her out. She does also some great, great content. And I think y'all would enjoy her. If y'all enjoy what I'm talking about, then you'll definitely enjoy Chelsea as well. So yes, those are the people who be saying no. Like they never dated these types of men or women. Because there are men on there that's silly and they expectations are ridiculous too. Like I don't just pick on the girls, I pick on everybody. If you silly, you silly. Silly has no gender, okay? Silly and foolish has no gender. But a lot of the women, it's more so women that have an issue than men in regards to this whole expectation thing. So let me tell y'all how I'm about to season this fish. So I like to use a seasoned fish breading. This is the one that I love to use. It's called Louisiana New Orleans style fish fry seafood breading mix. You know it's the right one because it's yellow and it has like the little real lemon added, has some lemon touches in here. It is seasoned. It's not like incredibly salty. So I do add just a touch of salt on my fish, but very little because I am a person who does not believe in overconsumption of salt. Too much salt can cause inflammation. It can cause bloating. It can cause water retention, which is basically inflammation. It can cause issues with your joints once you start getting bloated and you're holding on to water. If you ever notice you have a night where you're eating out, you may even have some fried foods, you go to an Asian restaurant, and then the next day you waking up, you're like, man, my knees hurting, all that kind of stuff. You are inflamed, my dear. Your joints you got excess water in your body and it is holding a lot of pressure on them joints. So please be mindful, y'all. Heart disease is a huge issue in our community. And one of the things that you can do to combat that is minding what you put in your mouth. And it starts with the amount of sodium. So now that I have that little preaching session out the way, I'm going to season my fish. Actually, I'm going to put some gloves on. If you're new here, you will see that I like to cook with gloves. I like to, especially if I'm going to get my hands and stuff. Look, I know Big Mama used to cook with her bare hands. I am not Big Mama. I can cook like Big Mama, but I know better, so I'm going to do better. And we're going to practice sanitation things around here, okay? So I'm going to put some gloves on so I can season up this fish because I do want to get all of the seasonings in good. I'm just going to add in some garlic powder. Garlic powder. I'm going to put a little bit of onion powder in here. Uh-oh. And then what I'm going to use for my salts is our old friend, Old Bay seasoning, the old school Old Bay. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot. Just a little tiny bit. Here, wait, let me put a little bit more. And then the shining star of my fried fish is my green seasoning. So green seasoning is, y'all can see it here, it's a herb-based, like all-purpose seasoning. It has so much in it: parsley, onions, garlic, everything, right? I have a video on my page. It's literally this batch of green seasoning. The video is on my page. I just posted it last week, I believe. So go ahead and check it out. It's a great way to add in a ton of flavor into your food. It's a lot of like I said, it's a lot of herbs and aromatics that you have to buy and chop up. You do need either a blender or a food processor to make it. But once you make it, you can put it in jars. You can store it in the freezer or the fridge. And so, perfect. Oh, Brian says he makes his own batter. Yes. You said you were a chef, right? I saw that in the chat. Let me know what you put in your batter, if you don't mind sharing. So I'm just going to add in about a tablespoon of this green seasoning. There's no salt. There's no sugar in the green seasoning. So you literally can add it to anything, and it's not going to impact the amount of sodium. There's no oil in here either. So it's salt-free, sugar-free, and oil-free. So it's a perfect companion when we're eating and cooking for health. See, I'm always going to look out for y'all. I'm going to tell y'all a good word, and I'm going to show y'all some good food, okay? So green seasoning in our fish. Another thing I like to season my fish with is yellow mustard. I had Maggie use the mustard the other day on her fish. I know y'all have heard of mustard on fried foods. If you haven't, try it out. I remember the first time I saw it because my grandmother I didn't grow up seeing my grandmother cook like this, fried food with yellow mustard. But I decided to try it because one of my friends who is a Southern girl, one of my best friends, I had her fried fish and she made it with yellow mustard. It changed my life. And from then on, I've always seasoned my fish with yellow mustard. And then once I started cooking with green seasoning, yellow mustard on my fish, and the green seasoning for sure on my fried chicken. So all I'm going to do is just massage this into the fish. That's why I put my gloves on, y'all. Remember, when you are preparing your fish to fry, make sure you dry it off. So use a paper towel, or you can even use like a regular dish towel, but I just use a paper towel because I can throw them away. Dry your fish off. That way you won't have any excess water. So the fish really can be able to soak up that mustard and that green seasoning. Okay? All right. Expectations and standards, y'all. It's exhausting. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when I be watching these shows like the Kendra G show and see people talking all this mess, I just shake my head. I'm just like, you know what? I am so grateful for God placing certain people in my life, a certain person in my. I am just so grateful because some of y'all lost. Not y'all in this chat. Y'all got some sense. But some of these people on the internet talking mess, they're lost. And this is why we have people talking about their expectations in dating are high standards, confusing the two. And then when you don't get your expectations, what are you doing? You're talking about, oh, the dating pool has sewage in it. It has pee and poop and all this other kind of stuff. So the other question that Kendra always asks the women when they are, I forgot, y'all. I forgot to turn my oven on. I'm about to show y'all what we're going to make with this. Because we having a fish fry, remember? We're having a fish fry. And so instead of French fries, I'm going to roast some potatoes, okay? Hopefully they get done. I'm going to roast some potatoes. I got some little petite gold potatoes. You can use regular yellow potatoes, Yukon Gold, what have you. I tend to be a little extra. So I bought these little bitty potatoes, and then I'm just going to cut them in half because it'll help cut down on the cooking time. And I'm just going to add some olive oil, season them up. I'll show y'all my favorite seasoning to put on my potatoes. And then I'm just going to roast them on high heat. I set my oven till about 400. I'm gonna have to season them up and then just put them in there and let them cook while the stove is heating up because I forgot to heat my oven. But yeah, one of the questions that Kendra always asks women, especially, not so much the men, because most of the men honestly really ain't even asking for much. A lot of them are just silly, the ones that come on the show. They ain't asking for much, they're really just silly. But Kendra will always ask these women, have you ever dated a six-figure man? Because that's what everybody want, right? And the women who say yes, she always like, okay, so why aren't you with them? Why aren't you with them? If you had access to all these high earning six-figure men, why aren't you dating them? What happened to that relationship? And then it's always some bull crap, right? It's always he cheated this or he did that and blah 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 blah. And I'm not saying he didn't. He probably did. Okay, whatever. But her point in always asking women this question is like, all right, you say you want these men, these high powered, high value men, and you dated them. What happened? What happened to the relationship? So really, is it really that important? If the relationship didn't last, if you've dated multiple men that are meeting these expectations, these standards, then that should be enough to sustain the relationship, correct? But they can never really answer that question. And so it always goes back to, all right, these are not standards. These are expectations. These are things you want and desire. These are not things that you need to sustain a very fulfilling, healthy relationship with another human being. And that's really what it all boils down to. Like, if we're dating, if we're out here looking for someone to be our partner in life, what's really important? Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Money is important, okay? Money is definitely important. I love money. We all love money. I'm here to make money on YouTube, right? I make money outside of YouTube as well. But that is not the only thing that is necessary to sustain a relationship. Actually, Mona was talking about marriage and things of that nature. And she talks a lot about like how her marriage has been able to sustain for these 15 years they've been together, and about 12 years, I think she said they're married. Not one time, this is a woman who's married over a decade and has children with her husband. Not one time has Mona stressed the importance of finances. Don't get me wrong. We all know that we need money to live, but money is not what makes a relationship successful. Money is not what makes a marriage successful. Money is not going to make you fall in love and be able to be everything that you need this man to be. It's not. It's not. Money might keep you honest and straight for a few minutes. You know, it's always nice for somebody to trick off on you. But like after a while, you're gonna show your ugly head if it's ugly. You're gonna show your true colors. So like, why are we putting so much emphasis on like these superficial things? Again, not to say they're not important, not to say you're even wrong for wanting them, but it's about a matter of managing your expectations. And this is something that we see a lot about. We see a lot in the dating world. Nobody wants to keep it real. Everybody want to date in the pool that they can't get in. You hating from outside of the club and you can't even get in. Let's see what the batter is saying. Who are you talking to? I need to try your way to fry cod. So let me say this about cod. The thing about cod is it is a very delicate fish. So you have to be careful with how much you're manipulating it. Otherwise, it can fall apart. That's just it. So I wouldn't, if you're gonna, you can fry cod, of course, but I would be just mindful of how much you're manipulating it. You probably just want to season it lightly, coat it in the wet batter, the dry batter, back and forth, and then just put it in there. Because if you're gonna be like massaging it like I did today with this fish, it really could fall apart. So that's the only thing that I would be cautionate about. But otherwise, yeah. Yes, I am a chef, and I sure will. Yes, please show us your ways. Shout out to all the chefs. I am not a chef. I'm just a home cook. I love to cook. I grew up watching my grandmother, and then I love watching chefs and things of that nature on TV, on Food Network, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. And so that's where I kind of fine tune my skills, have a little better knife skills and things of that nature, learned about different cooking methods and all these things. So I'm, oh, poor Mona. You're allergic to fish? Let's see. What else did you cook? I mean, you could fry you up a piece of chicken. You could have some chicken. Can you eat shrimp? I know sometimes people who can't shrimp allergies are a little bit different than fish. Yeah, Mona's allergic. Ugh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You can cook. Praise Jesus. I love a man that can cook. Put a one in the chat, ladies, if you love a man that can cook. Okay. I've dated a man. One of my exes was could cook. Actually, a couple of them. Two of my ex-boyfriends could cook, actually. And I like being the person that can cook. Because when a man cooks, he gonna have me out here looking like old Terry. Y'all be cooking, okay? If you know how to cook and you know how to cook healthy food, we can talk. Let's see. I say Chelsea says she love a man that can cook. Yes. Mona, your husband cook. Yes. Celeste loves a man that can cook. Brian, you a man that can cook. Yeah, he a chef. Okay. Chelsea, look. So that's the only thing, ladies. When we out here looking, if you single and you want a man, if he can cook, great. But make sure he know how to cook some healthy food too, because we don't need no issues. So with these potatoes are actually ready to eat. I'm just chopping them up, or actually just cutting them up in half. I'm gonna rinse them off a little bit. You don't have to like do like you do regular potatoes with like vinegar and like really soak them, because these have been pre-washed, but you never know. It's a lot of nastiness in the grocery store. So I just half them, and then I'm gonna rinse them off a little bit. I'm gonna rinse them, and then I'm gonna throw them on my dish here. All I'm gonna do is coat them. We're gonna coat them a little bit with olive oil. Just a little bit, not too much. If you don't want to use olive oil, you can actually use like a non-stick cooking spray, but it's basically the same thing. So just a little bit of olive oil. One of my favorite seasonings to use with vegetables and with potatoes is our Kinder's Prime Steak, black garlic and truffle. Y'all, if y'all been here since the beginning, y'all know that I love this stuff. And so you can liberally add this onto your potatoes. It actually doesn't have a lot of sodium in it, so it's not going to make your food super salty or anything like that, but it does add amazing flavor. Y'all, I absolutely love truffle. Just a little black pepper too. I love truffle, so anytime I can use it, I'm going to use it. I forgot to spray my pan, so I'm just going to add in a little bit of this, and then really just swish it all around. Make sure you mix up all your seasonings, and then we're just going to add this in the oven. I have my oven set at 400 degrees. Unfortunately, I did not preheat it like I was supposed to prior to. So we're just going to put this in here and pray to God they get done by the time the fish get done. Okay. That's why I like to use the little ones. I'm actually turning these face down or cut side down. So I'm going to wash my hands, put this in the oven, and then we're going to keep chatting. And it's almost time to get this fish together. All right. Let's see. If y'all are new here, you don't know that my stove died on me a couple weeks ago. And so I have a new stove, and it's I love the new stove, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning the difference between my old stove and my new stove. So we have a new guest in the room, Messy Michonne live. Yes, girl, Messy Michonne. She's another content creator here on YouTube, a part of the Lead Attorney Mastermind. And your girl be over there being messy on her channel, but it is hilarious. Make sure you check her out. She does lots of reactions and commentary on a lot of pop culture things. These is going on with celebrities and all type of stuff. So make sure y'all check out Messy Michonne live. She goes live pretty much every day, I believe. You go live every day? I'm pretty sure she does. I love to catch her lives because she's always talking about something that I'm interested in. Miss Peach Love says, I've had a man make some delicious food. However, I don't want nobody in my kitchen messing up my cabinets. Yes. For those of you who really love cooking, like it's cute to like cook with other people, but in real life, get out. You in my way. You're in my way. Mona D says he cook a little something, something. He's the grill master. He makes better hot breakfast and steak than me. You know what? Men are amazing grillers. Like I feel like men are way better grillers than women, um, plus or minus. But for the most part, I think that's where men shine the most is on the grill. And then if you're a woman in the kitchen, you shine in the kitchen. Like you be cooking up the meals and even baking. Yes, Messy Michonne, we in these streets. Yes, on the grill for sure. Brian says, because most women want to come in by the man is all reestablished, growing with him and making something together. So this is in reference to women wanting that high earning man, right? And I had to check myself about this too. Like, absolutely, of course. We want a man that makes a lot of money, right? Like nobody wants to live the struggle life. We all want to live great, fabulous lives, right? But on the flip side, like I men that are high earners, they really don't care a lot about how much money you're making. That's number one. And a man who loves and cares about you, he don't mind sharing what he has with you. I think the problem lies is when the expectation is that this is what he's supposed to do, especially if he's not your husband. No man really has to do anything for you if he's not your husband. He don't have to protect you. He don't have to provide for you if he's not your husband. The thing is, if he wants to be your husband, then yes, he's going to exhibit these things. But like, you can't expect that from somebody you just met on Hinge 2 weeks ago. Managing our expectations. Brian loves swai. That's a pretty good leaner white fish to make. Oh yeah. Your ex was the same way. All right. Miss Peach Love, she loves our truffle seasoning, y'all. I have this on one of my recipes, but it's really kind of hard to find. The only place that I've really seen this is in Sam's Club. So if you see it, if you have a Sam's Club, you have a Sam's Club membership, go ahead and check it out. Yes, swai is flaky and has good flavor, and it's a milder fish, so like it takes on the flavor of other things. So that's a good thing about the swai fish. All right, so I'm going to get my batter ready. Again, we're going to use this batter, the Louisiana New Orleans fish fry. I'm just going to, because I don't fry food very often, I don't keep batter and stuff in Ziploc bags like my grandma used to do. I'll put it in a dish or a bowl or maybe in a Ziploc bag, use it that one time, and then it's in the trash can. So I'm just going to use this. I'm going to add in a little bit more garlic powder and onion powder because I'm Black, and that is 2 required ingredients when you're cooking. Okay? We know this. And I think I'm gonna add in a little bit of black pepper too, just to have those little black pepper flakes. We can mix this around and then we can start coating our fish. Let me get a fork. If you're just joining us, we're having a fish fry today. We're frying up some perch. I'm showing y'all how I'm adding, or I eat fried foods on occasion as a part of my healthy lifestyle. Not always, but on occasion. With our fried fish, I got some roasted potatoes. If they get done by the time the fish done, y'all, this some ghetto stuff today. I'm usually more prepared than this. But I did not preheat my oven, so they may not cook as fast, but that's fine. And then also, I'm going to add a salad to it, just a side salad. I know growing up, I used to like, let me tell y'all, because I know some Detroit people up in here. How many people eat fried fish with spaghetti? Because I grew up eating it like that. I love fried fish with my spaghetti with my fried fish, and then we even ate coleslaw with it. Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with the fried fish and spaghetti combo. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't know what I'm talking about. And I better see more 1s than 2s, okay? Especially from the Midwest people. Y'all should know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Derek says, I couldn't cook it right. It was mushy in the middle. Are you talking about the swine? Yeah. Air fried potatoes. Oh yeah. So actually, my oven is a convection oven, and it basically is the same thing as the air fryer. So I'm gonna get a plate so that I can hold my. I'm gonna start coating my fish. I'm gonna preheat my skillet. My fish is gonna be cooked in a cast iron skillet. Let me add this camera so y'all can see. Y'all can see the action. So I'm gonna cook my fish in the cast iron skillet. Let me add this to the stream. I'm heating it up. It is being heated on medium low heat. So the thing with cast iron cooking is the truth. However, you have to be careful when you're cooking with cast iron because cast iron holds a whole lot of heat, right? So when you're heating up your cast iron cookware, make sure you start from a low heat. You don't want to heat it up too fast because it's very hard to cool it down. And you'd rather have to turn the heat up a little bit as opposed to trying to cool it down. So I'm heating it up on medium low, and then we're good to go. All right, let's see who else. Hey, Jay Sampson says fish and spaghetti. Yeah, see, Midwest people know the truth. They know what it is. Yes, grandma's was the best. Number one for the fish and the spaghetti. Okay, you might have to put heat higher. Yeah, yeah. When cooking those types of fish that are kind of delicate, yeah, start high and then bring it down, get a good sear, and then bring the heat down so that you can finish even cooking. That's typically what I like to do. Karen says yes. All right, so we're gonna coat the fish. All right, y'all. Back to this topic though. Dating standards versus expectations. For those of you that are just joining, we've been talking about dating. We've been talking about the differences between standards and expectations because everybody loves to say that the dating pool got pee in it. The dating pool is a cesspool, it's sewage in it. But my original question was, is the dating pool, is it full of pee, or are your expectations just a little bit too high? And the reason why we ask, are your expectations a little bit too high? Because it's just like, first of all, standards and expectations are not the same. That's number one. We've established that, and we're going to go with that. Standards is your basic needs and desires within a relationship, the basic things that you need. Everybody has standards, and we honestly should all have standards. We should all have pretty much the similar standards. You want someone with similar morals, values, and respects you, period, right? But once we start talking about expectations, or what I like to say, wants and desires, that's when you start to get into the more superficial things and the things that really don't dictate the longevity of a relationship or the success of the relationship. It doesn't dictate that. It's just what you want. So if you want a chick with what the brick house song say, 36, 24, 36. Okay, you can want that. That's fine. But is that really what is required for you to have a successful relationship? Absolutely not. For the ladies, you can want the 666, the man with the six figures, 6 feet tall, and we all grown here, the 6 inches. That's what they say. I don't know about that. But you can want the 666, but does that mean that is what the only things that you need, or those are the required qualities of your mate to have a successful relationship? Especially if you can sit here and say, yeah, I've dated men or women that held those wants and desires, but those relationships didn't last. So that lets me know, that probably is not the most important thing. You probably shouldn't be basing your dating guidelines and who you're going to date just solely off the things that you want and desire. Nothing wrong with looking for that, but like, my girl, don't just write off a man because he makes $60,000 a year. That $60,000 a year man, honey, he might bring you the most. First of all, let's talk about money for real quick. I don't know where y'all live, but I'm in Phoenix, and most of my friends live in the top 5, or I'll say the top 10 largest cities in the United States. And all of these cities are pretty expensive. Phoenix is about the 5th or 6th largest city in the country. It is not cheap to live here. Okay. So, yes, money is required. I got to have money. I can't make $20,000 a year. I need to make a decent living so that I can provide for me and my child. Okay. We got that out the way. But that does not mean that, like, I'm going to pass up every man that I meet, some good, some silly, just because he don't meet this arbitrary ceiling of an income. That don't mean that he ain't gonna be a good man for me. Granted, we do need money to survive. I'm gonna wash my hands, y'all. We do need money to survive, but I find that, like, really focusing on the material possessions, the silly superficial things is what's causing so much heartache. Or that's all you're going after. Maybe you should try some things differently. That's just my little 2 cents. So let me look at my outline. All right. We already got out the way. We've come to the conclusion that a lot of times, maybe not for everyone, but for a lot of people, their expectations are kind of hindering them in their dating life. And because they haven't managed their expectations, their proximity to the things that they say they want is like non-existent. They don't even know where these people exist, or these men or women that they want to date. They don't even know where they at. Talking about, you want this type of man, you want this type of woman, and all you see is Pookie and Pookisha outside. Child, please, okay? You probably need to change some things in your life so that you can get what you want. And that goes to the next point, and the final point, really, of how you can improve your life, your dating life. First of all, let's see. All right, y'all, let me turn this heat up so we can get this fish going. My first thing, because I'm the person of solutions. I'm not the person here who's gonna badmouth everybody and make people feel lesser than. That is not my style. I worked in social services for long enough to know you cannot approach people from a negative space. You cannot offend people off top, because after a while, they're going to stop listening and they're never going to receive the message. So, yeah, I'm all about holding people accountable, but I also want to be able to offer people some realistic solutions and things that they can implement in their life so that they can actually improve their life. And, like, the first thing that I have experienced on my own, I've seen it with friends and family members when it comes to dating, being able to improve. The first thing that they needed to do and I needed to do to improve my dating life was really looking at myself, looking in the mirror and seeing what do I see? What am I reflecting to the world? What is my perception of myself versus what I'm showing the world? How am I showing up in the world? How am I engaging with these men? How am I picking these men? What is hindering me from within, from being able to make good choices for myself so that I don't have such negative experiences with dating? So, like, that might look different for everybody. Chelsea was talking about earlier, she was going to therapy. That was something I did and will continue to do until all of my childhood traumas and issues are addressed, is going to therapy. Therapy is one of the first things I'll tell most people to do. It don't work for everybody, but it does work for most. It does work for most. Mona just said it, and I got to bring up this comment. Here we have here. Self-awareness is the first step. And it is. You got to recognize your faults. You got to be aware of who you are. Like, y'all, one of the things that I find that is lacking within our community, and I'm going to keep it real, it's not just men, it's not just women, it's everybody. There are so many people who are not self aware at all. Like, at all. And one of the ways you know people aren't self aware is because they have such a hard time with holding themselves accountable. But I also talked about this the other day. One of the reasons why I feel like so many people struggle with accountability is because they never seen that modeled in the home. How many times have you, as a child, heard your mom or dad say, "I was wrong"? How many times have you heard that? I really can't tell you. I can't really recall any time a parent or guardian, my mama, grandmother, grandfather, my father when he was still alive, I don't recall any of these people ever telling me at one point in time they were wrong, either with something they did in regards to me or just wrong in general. Rarely do I hear adults say in front of children that they are wrong. And the power in being able to show your children that I don't make the right choices all the time is letting them know that, like, first of all, mistakes are not necessarily a bad thing. That's number one. And number two, you're letting them know that I am not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not some person that's just going to always make the right decisions. I am human. Humans make mistakes. And that is how I'm going to hold myself accountable, by letting you know that it is okay to make mistakes, but you need to learn from those mistakes. And that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for people to look within, because they have a hard time saying, I make mistakes. I make them regularly. And these mistakes is what's impacting my life. Mona says, and we need to seek outside feedback and help with that. That's why it's so important to have a therapist, or even to have somebody in your life that you can just bounce ideas off. Someone who is like a true friend. I am blessed that I have real girlfriends. I've told y'all, I went to private school, I went to college. I've been around a lot of people with substance that aren't just out here just tricking off and just doing crazy stuff every day. I'm around a lot of people with substance, and because of that, I have friends that will tell me, Terry, you on some bullshit, okay? I have friends that will tell me, you were not right. You ain't talking right. You ain't acting right. You need to get your mind right, or that man ain't gonna want to be bothered with you, okay? Like, I've literally had friends tell me this, okay? This is what you need to do. You need to surround yourself with people that's gonna tell you about yourself. Panko breadcrumbs are amazing. You can use them on anything, fish, whatever. It's very hard to be rational, irrational person. I guess it depends on what you mean by that. I think we have the ability to be rational and irrational, because we're human beings and we're all emotional creatures. It's just the way that in which our emotions are shown. And so I do find that, like, we can be rational up into a point, and there's something that might trigger us, and then boom, all ration and logic and reason is out the door. That's just my personal opinion, but I'm no psychological expert. And we wonder why we repeat the same mistakes and don't change. Right, because we aren't willing to look within and be honest with ourselves. Ooh, oh, y'all having a whole conversation about bread. And let's see, is oil hot? Let me get a little trick that I learned from one of my favorite YouTube chefs is adding like a wooden spoon in the oil to check. And if you see bubbles kind of popping up, then the oil is hot. Ain't no bubbles popping up yet. Oh, wait, you know what, y'all? That is what's wrong. I did not heat my stove up correctly. It's new. I'm still trying to learn my stove. I turned it the wrong way. Okay. I never saw it. The apologizing by giving stuff, or just bypassing, not apologizing for their actions. So I talked about this on my last live, and I will continue to say it because it's always relevant. One of the things that I made sure to exercise and implement as a mom with my daughter is letting her know that I'm sorry. If I was wrong about something, I have no problems apologizing. I actually recently had to do this a couple weeks ago. My daughter, I was having a bad day, like terrible day. Outside of YouTube, I'm a business owner. I have a job. I'm a mom. So I got a lot of things on my plate, and sometimes the stress, it gets to me. That's not an excuse. It's just a reality. And I snapped at my daughter unnecessarily, right? And like, after it happened, I was upstairs in my room and I felt terrible about it. And I was just like, here she is gonna think that she is the reason why I'm having a bad day. And so I had to make sure I came back downstairs. She was still down here. And I told her, I was like, look, I'm sorry. I yelled at you. It was unnecessary. You did nothing to me. I'm having a bad day. You did nothing to cause the bad day. I don't want you to think it's your fault. I was wrong. I should not have talked to you like that. And I'm really going to focus and make sure that when I'm upset, I don't put my emotions and frustrations and anger out on you. I can honestly say I've never had that kind of conversation growing up. That was nothing that was ever expressed to me, that was ever said to me. And I think that it's huge power in parents being able to show their children that level of respect, because it's also showing them the types of behavior they should be accepting. Because if you tell your child, I love you, I love you, I love you, but you also talking crazy to them, you're constantly yelling at them, emotionally, physically abusing them, that's their concept of love. It gets deep. It gets deep. Mona really knows a lot about where I'm going, or a lot of what I'm talking about, because she and I have both worked in social services, worked with child protective services. And y'all, it's amazing the things that you see in these families, like what's going on behind closed doors and how it's really affecting kids. Is what's even more sad. What really blew my mind, within my first year in CPS, was seeing so many parents that was on the other side of like getting their kids taken away or having to do services so they don't get their kids taken away. How many times they had CPS involved in their lives when they were younger. It's a cycle that just keeps on going. And at some point, we got to learn how to break the cycle. We got to learn how to break the cycle. Y'all, I have stories for days. It's sad out here. It's very, very sad. Oh, wait, I didn't read Miss Peach Love's comment. She says, I totally agree. Holding myself accountable with my children has been rubbing off on them. I now have a 23-year-old who's very self-aware already and taking steps to change herself. Absolutely. Derek Gaines says, Miss Peach Love, this is why I refuse to date. All the negative energy I've received in my life come from Black women. I'm not weak. I don't want the drama. I would just encourage you, my good brother, to do not lose hope, because I have seen and experienced lots of negative things from men as well. However, I see good Black men out here, and so I'm not going to punish good Black men for what the raggedy ones did to me. So that's all I got to say in regards to that. Mona says, that's amazing, my sis. I haven't had any friends in my age group to keep it real with me, none. And you know what? I am not familiar with this. I admittedly am very ignorant to the fact that there are women out here that don't have good women in their corner. And so I empathize with you. I really do. And that's okay, girl, because we friends now. All right. I'm going to check and see if this oil is hot because I'm ready to eat. Y'all ready to eat? Oh, yes. This oil is getting up there. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. Let me do my little trick with the... All right, we got some bubbles. So remember, if the bubbles are coming up at the bottom, that means the oil is hot. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in. We're using canola oil today. I wanted to use avocado oil, but I forgot to buy some. And so I'm just putting it's not a whole lot of fish. We're not deep frying. We're just pan frying. So we will have to turn the fish. I'm going to cook it in batches because I don't want the oil to cool off. I want to keep it at a good temperature, so you don't want to overcrowd your pan. The more oil you have, you can do a little bit more, but as you can see, I'm not using a whole lot of oil. All right. While my fish is going, I'm going to keep talking to y'all, and I'm going to cut up my veggies for my salad. So I got a cucumber here, English cucumber, and I'm just going to peel it and then cut these up. So yeah. So the next thing that I would recommend, this is just my recommendations. I'm not an expert, but these are some things that I had to implement within my life. I definitely saw a change in my dating life after doing this. I will say that. The quality and caliber of men that have been in my life since me really focusing on making these changes has vastly improved. I'll just say that. Okay, so, and this kind of goes back to the conversation I was talking about in terms of Mona sharing with us her life as a married woman, is talking to people who are where you want to be. So in regards to dating, that would mean talking to husbands and wives. I am a member of a Black sorority. Y'all can guess. You see what's on my refrigerator. So I have the opportunity of being around a lot of married women, lots of married women. And I make it a point with not just my sorors, but even my clients, because I am a personal trainer outside of YouTube. And even with my clients, I love to talk to them about dating and relationships. I love to ask them questions about, things that they experience while dating their husbands. Even experiences while being married and like the things that they have to go through and deal with and the compromises as wives that they have to make and like, the tough choices that they may have to make their marriage last. These are questions that I ask because I think a lot of people have like this, fairy tale idea of what marriage looks like. Marriage is not always easy. We got Mona in the chat, married woman. I'm gonna be referencing her all the time if until I have somebody else in the chat that I know is married. And like, I'm sure she can tell us all, being married is not easy, but it don't have to be the most difficult thing in the world. It doesn't. You just got to work at it. And that's what all my friends, married friends, have told me. You just got to work at it. But how would I know that if I don't have those type of conversations with the people in my life that are married? I want to be a wife, right? If I want to be a wife, if I want to have a husband, then I need to talk to wives and husbands. I need to learn what men and women, we need to learn what men and women desire in a mate. I want a black man. Why would I not listen to what black men want? If you want a black woman, why would you not listen to what black women want? If this is who you desire. Now, granted, it goes without saying, you need to talk to reasonable people. We're not talking about pookies. We're not talking about Shanays and Pukishas. No, we're talking about reasonable, regular, hardworking, self-sufficient, good black folks. Okay? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Let's see. More comments. I should have said it's hard to be rational with an irrational person. Absolutely. And I've had to learn myself the times when I can be irrational and how that's affected me and my dating experiences. Ooh. So we're just going to turn this over. Got some good color. I'm going to turn this down just a little because the heat is up good. Oh, this fish is cooking nicely. All right. So I'm just going to turn it over. I'm going to let it sit there. Leave it alone. Don't mess with the fish too much because then, especially if you have a delicate fish, it can break apart and then you're going to have issues. Miss Peach Love says, Mona, yes, that's how we grew up too. It was great to get new things, but you never forget feeling so small because we were trying to figure out why we got yelled at. Y'all, man, every time I yell at my daughter, because I'm not a perfect mom, of course, every time I yell at my daughter, like, I be feeling bad. And so I find myself, literally when she does things that make me upset or make me mad, I take a deep breath. And I think, okay, one, she didn't do it on purpose. So calm down. Two, would little child Terry want that kind of reaction? Do you want little child Terry yelled at? I apologize to my husband and children. It's freeing despite the mistake. Absolutely. There's so much power in apologizing. There's so much power in holding yourself accountable because the more you hold yourself accountable, as long as you're not making the same mistakes, but the more you hold yourself accountable, the more respect people give you and the more grace people are willing to give you because they recognize we all humans, we all make mistakes. All right, y'all still talking about this breading and fish and all that. Let's see what else Mona got to say. Mona is saying it is gut wrenching. Yes, she's talking about working in CPS, y'all. Oh Lord, one day, we're gonna have to have a conversation about this. Definitely gonna have to have a conversation. Oh yeah, this fish is cooking. It is cooking pretty fast, actually. So make sure, and this is why I say be mindful of the heat level because it can cook your food too fast. Mona says, yes, that's true. Marriage ain't no fairy tale. Absolutely not. I don't know nobody to say that. Thank you. The fish looks good. Thank you so much. But we put in the work. Shout out to you, Mona. Shout out to you for real because Mona is a millennial like me. I think we're about the same age. And like I love hearing Black couples, stories of Black couples. And I especially love hearing people in my age group that have been married for 5 to 10 years or longer. Like, y'all, I love Black love. I do. So shout out to you, Mona, and your husband, your beautiful family. Like, y'all doing the damn thing, and I appreciate that. Celeste says that fish is about to be bomb. Yes, baby. When we can't tell each other nothing without them having an attitude. Yeah. See, this is the thing. I talked earlier about how you address people and your reactions of how the reactions of the people you're addressing based on your tone. So if you come at somebody with an attitude, how else do you expect them to respond? Come on now. Come on. You gotta be mindful of who you are. You gotta know who you are. You gotta know what your triggers are. You gotta know when my man do X, Y, and Z, it makes me mad. So you have to be mindful of like, look, the next if he do it again, especially if it ain't something stupid, if it's something stupid. If he leave his socks on the floor, okay, cool, whatever. He leave his socks on the floor. Don't just keep yelling and screaming and cussing and hollering. Like I remember I watched a video recently about a woman who divorced her husband because he picked up the wrong thing at the grocery store. Y'all, it was so ridiculous. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? She sounds just as crazy as dang on Tia. Graduating from marriage. All right, this fish a little dark skin. But I'm chocolate, so that's fine. Get another plate. Get a little bit of paper towel so we can take this fish out. So this fish is cooked fast. And I don't want it to burn. We're going to add in our next batch. I'm only going to make 2 batches. Ooh, baby. All right. Put this down to medium. All right. All right. I'm going to tell y'all what's next. The next thing that we have, how we're going to improve our dating lives. So we said, look from within. We said, talk to other people that are in the situations that you want to be in. So married couples, basically, men and women. The next point, focus on self-improvement, which kind of goes with from within, but this is the action part. Like, what are you doing to improve yourself? And so that can look a variety of different ways. So one of the things that I know that I had to do, and I'm just going to talk about me because I know this is a topic that is very sensitive. A lot of people are very sensitive about that. But you know what? Instead of focusing on other folks, I'll focus on me because I can tell you my truth because this is my truth. In the beginning of this video, I talked about, how I started my business in the health and wellness field, and how I got into this is by my own personal health and wellness journey. I'm cutting up some red bell peppers because I'm going to add that into my salad. So I have no problems with letting everyone know I have always struggled with my weight. At my heaviest documented weight, I was 321 pounds. And you can imagine the effect that had on me emotionally, physically, mentally. It had a lot of effects on me. Did I hate myself? No. Did I have overall low self-esteem? No. I didn't have a low image of myself. I actually was a pretty active person in terms of being around folks. I wasn't reclusive. I was very outgoing, friendly. People have always loved my personality. I've always been this big, bright personality Terry. Everybody always knew that. I've always been a clown, funny, making jokes. I've always been that. But deep down inside, my weight has always affected my personal opinion about myself. I knew that I was like a good person. I knew of things that I could be able to accomplish in life and my abilities and all that kind of stuff. But like, it wasn't like I truly believed it. Like I knew that I could be a great person, but it was like I didn't believe it. And like one of those reasons why is because I felt like I wasn't good enough. I really felt like I wasn't good enough. And it that low self-esteem part of me, it caused me to eat more. And the weight just keep gaining and gaining and gaining. And because I was getting bigger and not comfortable with myself, like I would avoid certain situations and like I would only do so much. I would keep myself from being the center of attention because I didn't want people focusing on my weight. All right, flipping this fish. And then also, I will be honest in admitting my weight affected my dating life. It absolutely did. Are there men that like big women? Hell yeah, there are. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are. But like those men, clearly they weren't working out for me because I'm still single. And the type of man that I wanted, I found that like I wasn't attracting that type of man. And no, I didn't go on a fitness journey to find a man. I don't want anybody to think that. If you want to, that's your business. I went on a health and wellness journey for myself. One, I'm a mother and I need to be healthy. One, I'm a human being and I need to be healthy. I want to live long. And you don't see a whole bunch of old people over 300 pounds. Okay. So I had to get that under control. And then also I saw the health of both my grandmothers decrease rapidly. And a lot of that had to do with their overconsumption in foods that we know and love, but we eat too much of, and it causes us health problems. So I had to change my life. My grandmother told me, you need to get that weight off of me. And one thing I noticed, as soon as I started getting to like a more normal average size, y'all, the way people handled me, the way people address me, the way people talk to me, the way men treat me, the way women treat me, white men, black men, it don't matter. It don't matter. Like people really treated me differently. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it is what the reality is. And so I knew I don't want only to be able to put myself in better situations. I don't want my weight to be hindering me with anything. It's not good for me. And it really was hindering me from really going after some of the things that I really, really wanted. And so once I was able to accomplish a huge lifelong goal of losing weight, you can't tell me nothing now. I can do damn near anything. I really believe that it's possible for me to do anything. Is it hard to get some things accomplished? Absolutely. But I am of the train of thought, I did something that most people are not willing and able to do, and that is to change their entire life. So if I can do that, I can do other things. And you can too. You can too. Very possible. Y'all, this fish is just, uh-oh. Woo. It's best if you use two spatulas, but clearly I'm being hard-headed. This is almost done. Let's check on our potatoes. Oh, okay. Them actually might be, I'm gonna leave them in there. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna put up some comments, see what y'all talking about. Wait, first I'm gonna go up to this comment. I'm sorry. Derek says, I don't yell or cuss at my daughter. I remember how that made me feel as a child. I sit her down and talk to her. Man, look, you'd be surprised, y'all. Like the things you learn, not only about your kids, but from your kids when you literally just sit there and talk to them like they just another person to talk to. I think that it's crazy how like back in the day, I felt like grown folks never really wanted to ask kids their opinions. And it's just like, why not? They're human beings. They're human beings. Why not ask them their opinions? All right. Let's see what's going on with these potatoes. Y'all know they got in there. Okay. Oh, yes. All right. I'm going to spray them just a little bit and swish them around here on the thing, on our tray. I'm going to put them back in the oven for just a few minutes while we start plating and getting everything together, because I'm going to build me a salad and I'm going to put my fish on the plate and we don't eat. I'm going to taste this for y'all in just a few minutes. All right. Thank y'all for joining me today and hanging out with me on a beautiful Friday afternoon. I am enjoying y'all and your perspective and your conversation. All right. We're going to take this out because fish don't take a long time to cook. And we don't want to overcook our fish. We want it just right. All right. We're done with the fish. All right. Let's see some more comments here. Brian is happily married. Okay. Shout out to you, Brian. Derek, I had to take a step back and remember how all the things I was marrying made me feel. I totally revamped my way of parenting. Yeah. I was raised in an old school Black family. Okay. old school in the sense that children are seen and not heard. That is literally something my grandmother used to say to us. And so this is what Miss Peach Love is talking about, because that's my sister, y'all. That is my sister. That is my blood sister. Let's see. Brian says the key word is accountability. Yes, we got to hold ourselves accountable. We got to hold ourselves accountable. Miss Peach Love, because I was abused as a child, I wanted to be the type of parent I didn't have. I had to break the cycle. My mom was abused. Shout out to you, Derek. Thank you for sharing that and being transparent and vulnerable with us and sharing that bit of information. I'm sure that is not something necessarily easy to talk about. As a person who's seen those types of things go on, it can definitely be a vicious cycle. A lot of times kids that do experience trauma in the home, they never really get the services and the help that they need to be able to heal from that. So it's refreshing to hear you say that, like, you really done your due diligence to try to, not repeat the same cycles and not to repeat the things that you experienced as a child. So I do definitely applaud you for that. And again, thank you for sharing your story. Yes, yes. Everybody. Shout out to Derek. Thank you. Derek says, thank you. Let's see who we got. Kia says, hi, Miss Sis in chat. I hope you're well. I was catching Mona's replay and she said you were cooking live today. Oh, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, ma'am. We are cooking here today. I made some fried fish. And then as a companion to my fried fish, I'm going to have a little salad here. Let me take the comment off so y'all can see what I'm doing. I just got a bag of romaine lettuce. So look, I'm all about the healthy lifestyle and all that kind of stuff, but I recognize that not everybody has a whole lot of time. We got families, people got jobs, kids, wives, husbands. So you got to get dinner on the table quick. So a good way to do that is you got to do a little shortcut. And I ain't always buying lettuce and chopping it up and cleaning and spinning it and getting it dry. I love to use these salad kits or these salad bags of lettuce. My daughter and I, we eat a lot of salads around here, as you can see, because I'm about to make me a salad. I'm just putting a little red pepper and some cucumber on top of here, and I have some other little fixings that I'm going to add. So yes, thank you so much for joining, Kia. I hope I'm saying your name right. Let's see. What does Derek have to say? I hope to be married one day. My good friend is a great husband. I'm so glad you said that, because that is something that I be wondering sometimes with men. Like, do they know, especially the men that actually want to be married? If you don't want to be married, that's on you. But like, if marriage is something that you desire, then like, I do think it is very important to be around other married people, even if you aren't married yourself. And I love to hear men that are around that have married friends and that seek advice from their married friends, or even if they're not seeking advice, but just see how they married friends are moving, the good married friends. Okay. Don't be, we all know them toxic people. We cannot be looking at them, okay, as examples. Me and my wife got weight loss surgery together. Congratulations to you. Look, I am all here for people finding whatever method works for them. Look, we need to live healthier lives. And weight loss surgery is a tool, just like getting in the gym and all of that. And I'm going to tell you, you can get weight loss surgery and not lose 1 pound. I know several people that is their case, okay? You literally have to change your lifestyle. So this is why I am a huge proponent of showing people, not just telling them that it's a lifestyle, showing the people this is how you change your lifestyle. All right. So on top of my salad, I'm going to put in a little crispy beets. I love these. They're so good. As growing up, I hated beets. And then I had some beets on a salad from a chef before. And after that, I was like, okay. They were like yellow beets or orange beets. And I realized that fresh beets taste better than beets in the can. Because when I was a little girl, the doctor tried to put me on this little diet. Y'all, that diet was hell. My sister can tell y'all about it in the chat. And one of the days, it was like a 3-day diet. And one of the days you had to eat beets. and like tuna fish. Y'all, it was terrible. It was terrible. Ugh. I hated beets. I freaking hated beets. What else we got here? Yes, Derek. I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere. You are going to meet your wife. Okay? You are going to meet your wife. Brian says he lost 180 pounds and has lost 130 pounds. Shout out to y'all. Congratulations. That is a huge, huge accomplishment. And it should not be taken lightly. No, it's not easy to talk about. I can only imagine, but I do appreciate you sharing that with us because that is not something that is easy. So I appreciate that. Now, Derek says he wants a fish sandwich. All right, y'all. Let me show y'all this fish. This is our fish that we made. That little brown skin, but it's okay. Let me take my potatoes out the oven, and then we're gonna finish plating. I'm gonna taste, and we're gonna be done. So the last thing that I would say that anybody who wants to improve their dating life, the last thing they need to do, y'all, is actually date. How many people have heard of folks talking about they want a husband, they want a wife? They literally are talking about this is what they truly desire, but they never date. They never date. They never get out here to meet people and co-mingle. They don't. And so they have no dating experiences. And it's usually the people that have the most outrageous expectations and standards when it comes to dating. And keep in mind, just because you're dating doesn't mean you're actually engaging in sexual activity with people. That is not what that means. Dating means literally getting to know people, meeting people, going to activities, events, all that kind of stuff, getting to know people. How else are you going to know what you want and desire if you don't even know the whole process of dating? You don't even know how to engage with men, having conversations with men or women. Like, I personally believe that people should date. Should you be out here giving your body to everybody? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. AIDS is real, and we need to protect ourselves. Babies are real, and we need to protect ourselves. I know. So date, get to know people, see what you like, see what you don't, and keep it moving. I need something to pick up these potatoes. All right. So I'm going to add a little potatoes to my plate. It's a cute little situation here. All right. And then I'm going to move this out the way because we're going to go sit down. Y'all, I got a dog and he in the way. Okay. So there is, and then I'm going to add me, let's see. I'm going to have one piece. I'm going to have two pieces. How many pieces of fish y'all going to have? All right. There we go. I'm about to show y'all this plate. I'm going to add some of our homemade tartar sauce. Don't forget, we made some homemade tartar sauce as well earlier. I did forget to put something in here, y'all. I was supposed to put some sugar. I don't use sugar. I use a sugar substitute. It's called monk fruit. It's actually right here. I make my coffee with it every morning. I'm going to add in just a little bit at the end. The recipe calls for like a teaspoon. I put in a teaspoon of that. Just a little. And then I'm going to add a little bit into my little jar right here. That's going to be my little dipping jar. There we go. All right. There's our tartar sauce there. All righty. I'm so excited. So excited. It's about time to eat. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? All right. So if you're new here, you don't know, we do take pictures and videos. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to use some poppy seed dressing for my salad. I love poppy seed dressing. I don't overdress my salads, but hey, I suggest you use only the suggested serving size, which is 2 tablespoons. Y'all, please don't add in a whole half a cup of dressing on your salad. You don't need it. You don't need it. All right. So this is our plate, our salad, our fried fish and potatoes. You saw here, we made it together. with our green seasoning, our mustard. Woo! Let me get a fork. Oh, wait. We got to take a picture. We have our homemade tartar sauce. I'm going to take a picture. While I'm taking a picture, I'm going to ask the final question, and I'm going to let y'all answer this. Y'all going to answer by putting a 1 or 2 in the chat. The final question in regards to our topic. Does the dating pool have sewage in it? Does it have sewage? Does the dating pool have pee and poop and all that other stuff? Is the dating pool trash? You let me know. If you believe the dating pool is trash and has pee and poop and sewage in it, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't believe the dating pool is trash, put a 2 in the chat. I want to see what y'all got to say. All right, let me take a picture. Wipe off my camera. Oh, this looks good. Y'all, I'm so excited to eat this. I got some hot sauce too. I'm black. We're going to have hot sauce. All right. Yes. Woo. Now tartar sauce. All right. I'm going to taste it without any condiments. Then we're going to have some condiments, okay? We got ones. Derek says he don't know. He don't know. Let me taste, and then I'll tell y'all what I think. I think y'all know what I think. All right, so first I'm going to taste my fish. Oh, y'all. It's good. It's good. Oh, it's good. It's delicious, actually. To be perfectly honest, I can eat the fish just like this without any tartar sauce and without any hot sauce because the flavor is on point. I think the difference is that green seasoning. That green seasoning and that mustard, it adds a depth of flavor that cannot be denied, baby. Okay? Fresh herbs and spices and aromatics are it. Definitely want to incorporate that into your cooking. If it's not something that's possible for you for whatever reason, that is fine. You can always use dried herbs and aromatics and spices. But I highly recommend this. Let's taste our tartar sauce, and then I'm going to tell y'all what I think about the dating pool. All right. Y'all know I told you earlier in the video, if you were here in the beginning, I love like a chunky tartar sauce. Oh yeah. That's it. Make sure y'all try this out. I didn't do anything special. There's really no recipe. Uh-oh. What you do want though, you want the green seasoning for the fish. I do have a recipe for the green seasoning. That is on my page. There's a whole tutorial video. There's a link to my website, www.mysexyandstrong.com, where you can find the whole recipe for the green seasoning. That is what we use today. And baby girl, let me tell you, it made all the difference. Let me see. Real Bravado Network, thank you for joining. Content creator here on YouTube, part of Lead Attorney Mastermind. He's a huge supporter of all the people in the community. So make sure y'all check him out. I believe he's going live today. Are you going live today about King Pookie, dude with 7 kids and 7 baby mamas? I believe he's going live for that. I got my notifications on because I definitely want to check his live. He says, look, you can't be cooking all that good fish and not sharing. Look, it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. What does Mona have to say? She says, these questions are always hard for me as it would depend on the user and the outcome and their desires. Honestly, it would. But I'm going to tell y'all this. I don't believe that the dating pool has sewage in it. I think it's just, one, there are different dating pools. I think it really depends on a lot of things. Your environment, your the types of people you surround yourself with, your friends, family member, coworkers, all of that stuff. The city you live in makes a huge difference. The demographics. Even though I live in a city that does not have a high black population, the good thing about living in Phoenix is most of the people out here that are black are actually doing well in life. So I have been fortunate enough, most, not all, but I've been fortunate enough to be around not only people who are like amongst my peers, but also people that I aspire to be like. And so it's helped. It's helped in all aspects of my life, just not dating. But yes. All right. Can you make a healthy gumbo? I thought about that. I believe I can. I believe I can. We're gonna make some shortcuts and folks gonna talk about me. Don't be having nobody coming for me, Derek, because you know the people down south of Louisiana, they real protective of their gumbo. So I can make a healthy gumbo, but baby, it might they might come for me. Yes, please make sure you're subscribing to the channel. If you're gonna hit on that in my stream, that's even yes. But yes, I got a different take on this stuff. I'm sure you do. You were in my chat the other day, and I'm sure you have a different take, and I'm very interested to know your perspective because I respect it. All right. All right, y'all. Yes, Miss Peach Love. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, y'all. This is the end of the live. Y'all have been here with me for almost 2 hours. This is my longest live to date, but we had fun. We made our fish, we had our potatoes. Oh, I didn't even the potatoes was good. Shout out to the seasoning. So we made our fish, tartar sauce, our potatoes, and we talked about the dating pool. And we've come to the conclusion that the dating pool really don't have sewage in it. It's really just a matter of where you are, managing your expectations, and really working from within to improve not only your life, but your dating life. We all want love. We're all humans. Humans desire love. We thrive in relationships, whether they're romantic, platonic, what have you. And so it's best, not just for a marriage and romance, but it's best to really make sure that you are focusing on you, making sure you're the best person so that you can bring value to other people's lives and you will get that in return. That's just my little 2 cents. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate all the love and support. I'm so happy y'all were so engaged in the chat today. I will be back live on Sunday. I will be posting on my page tomorrow when I'm going live, what we're going to be talking about and what we're going to be cooking. So please join me. Again, if you aren't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I hope you enjoy the content. So if you did, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you're liking the video and make sure you look in the description box so that you can connect with me all over social media. Real Bravado Network. Yes, brother. Yes, we're going to get me monetized. Thank you so much for the support, y'all. I really appreciate it. Y'all, I will see y'all back here on Sunday. Y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy y'all Friday. Bye.